If you weren't paying attention or you decided to put your stuff away at the end of January and you came back and opened your computer and saw the price of Bitcoin, nothing would have changed, it seems. And joining us now to discuss that is CoinDesk Indices Managing Director, Jodie Gunzberg. Welcome, Jodie.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So the CoinDesk Bitcoin Price Index, the XBX, it rose just 1% in February, which is almost an accident. But in January had this huge run up, 40%. Can you explain break that whole thing down for us? And what do ordinals have to do with any of this?
Yeah, that's a good question. So what I believe happened is that despite what was a pretty challenging macroeconomic backdrop of inflation and strong employment, which probably means higher rates for longer, the crypto fundamentals are dominating. And this led crypto to outperform all other asset classes. And it was the only major asset class to gain in February. So a lot of this was supported by the Ordinals protocol, essentially bringing the non-fungible tokens, the NFTs, to that blockchain. And it demonstrated a new high-value use case for the longest-running cryptocurrency, right? And that also is supporting Stacks, which we've seen some spectacular performance. That's up 200% in February. So, that's on the back of this Bitcoin-based NFT development.
So you brought up traditional assets versus digital assets, and I think we have a chart of that, of the outperformance of digital assets. Even though they've kind of been boring this past month, they're still better off than what we saw in the traditional markets. Why is that?
Again, I think that it's this challenging macroeconomic backdrop. What does it mean when rates are higher for longer, with this prolonged period? We've been so used to free money that it is potentially drying up a lot of the extra money available for investments. So, I think that that's a lot of what we're seeing. And in crypto, just the fact that we were able to eke out a 1% gain in Bitcoin and, almost 1% in the CoinDesk Market Index. It was pretty impressive because a gain usually doesn't happen after January that's that big, or any month that's that big, frankly.
Jodie, we've seen a surge in so-called computing tokens. Can you talk a little bit about that? Is that just kind of like riding the AI hype? And are these computing tokens even AI tokens, or do people just kind of think that they are?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know that they're all AI tokens, but some of them certainly line up with the AI, and with all the hype, the ChatGPT, the Bing dominating the conversation, we are seeing some pretty spectacular performance in computing. It gained almost 18% this month. It's up over 80% year to date. So we are seeing a lot of those tokens dominate. And while computing doesn't make up a large portion of the market in terms of market cap, there's still a ton of opportunity there because there's over 20 assets. There's 23 assets in the index to play with, which leads to huge alpha opportunities if somebody wants to trade those around.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the crypto markets, and it's not like everything is doing well. It looks like the top 1% of digital assets represent 70% of the market. Which tokens are those, and what trends are you seeing?
Yeah, so that's a function of how concentrated the market is because it's so emerging. Very much like the Dow Jones might have been in the 1880s, or even the S&P in the early 1900s. You didn't really have many sectors: transportation, industrials, utilities. It wasn't until 1976 till we even got 4 sectors: financial. So now we see the majority of the market represented by just 5 tokens. So that's Bitcoin, Ether, Cardano, Polygon, and Solana. And most of it is Bitcoin because it's market cap weighted. So pretty much 2/3 of the index there. And that's the only asset in currency sector. And then the other 4 are part of the smart contract platform. So we don't get a ton of diversification, but it's certainly something that investors want. We're hearing it from wealth advisors, pensions, that they want the market exposure, and this is the simplest way to get it.
All right, Jodie, thank you so much for your analysis. That was CoinDesk Indices Managing Director Jodie Gunzberg.